This is it. Welcome to the circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona for the 3 races held across 2 days that will decide the outcome of all 3 classes of GT World Challenge Europe Sprint Cup. It's all very tight at the top and every lap must count as there's absolutely everything to play for. Last time out at Zandvoort there was tremendous racing in both events, with the second race led away by Emil Frey Racing's Lamborghinis. They got through Tarzan all right, but unfortunately for Christopher Hasse, he was spun around in the Santalot Racing Audi by Jules Gugnon's Bentley. Somehow, just somehow, everyone behind managed to avoid him. By the time the field got to Hugenholzbocht, Kelvin van der Linde died up into second place, but Albert Costa was not impressed and fancied getting back as soon as he could. He had a look up the inside, almost contact between them. And then Kelvin van der Linde went on the attack, dived down into the lead, past the lead Lamborghini, but unfortunately into the gravel. He ran through the gravel trap, and by the time he rejoined it was very tight indeed. Felipe Fraga demoted him, and then poor Jules Gugnon pushed off into the gravel on the outside in the green CMR Bentley. The Awega brothers Audi also slid off the circuit, and things were getting very tricky indeed, with a number of fight back starting early on. Then came the pit stops, all neat and tidy there, and Giacomo Alto taking over from Albert Costa and emerging into the lead of the race, looking good for Lamborghinis, but the 32 Audi staying out for a long first stint. Unfortunately, a little light rain put Valentin Peerberg, and that car had been as high as 5th place, but one of the drive backs through the field was Arthur Rougier picking his way up the order. Giacomo Alto all over the tail of Dries van Tor towards the end of the race, and at the end it was the Audi still in front, but a pit stop infringement led to a 30-second penalty being added to them after the race, and that meant the first win of the year for the 163 Lamborghini, and celebrations on the podium were very, very well deserved indeed. Japanese racer Riachiro Tomita has made an impressive impact in his first year of racing in Europe, and he and his teammate Kelvin van der Linde took their first win in style last time out at Zandvoort.
Every time I'm driving the first time in every circuit, and beginning it's so difficult. I couldn't confidence, but now it's getting better, and so we're getting wind, and I feel more confidence. But then every time I should running, it will be difficult. But so it is a race. I know.
The young Belgian duo of Charles Weerts and Dries van Tor arrived for the triple header finale in Barcelona with a 6.5 point lead, but there are 52.5 up for grabs.
I think we did a really solid season. We lead, as we said, during the whole season, so let's just try to keep it like this. I believe we have a strong car and a strong lineup, so let's see what this weekend will bring us.
Stephen Paulette and Simon Gachet not only lead the Silver Cup rankings for Santalot Racing, but they were outright winners at Magny-Cours and know that they have what it takes to take the Silver Cup honours. This could be their weekend.
Yeah, no, to be honest, as you told, trophy is close, but we have need to be focused on this meeting. You know, this year it's a bit special. This weekend it's the last one, but it's 3 races to finish and to score. Beginning of the year was good. We are a bit unlucky with some trouble, but we are on the pace for sure.
Ezekiel Perez-Companc and Axel Jeffries ranked second in the Silver Cup after winning in their brilliantly liveried Mad Panda Motorsport Mercedes at Pisano back in August. They're looking for glory here.
Yeah, we're quite happy to be here. It's our first time racing at Barcelona. We're right next to the track, that's where our workshop is, so yeah, really looking forward to racing here.
SPS Automotive Performance's Valentin Peerberg arrives in Spain, 3rd in the Pro-Am class, after a brilliant run by Nick Foster took the Mercedes as high as 5th overall in Zandvoort. This weekend, Valentin welcomes back regular teammate Dominic Baumann to the fold and is excited about what the weekend may bring.
So yeah, I think we've been really successful in the last free practice. We have a good car. I think we're only 4.5 points behind the second position car in the championship in the Pro-Am, and I think if we do 3 clean races and finish and maybe pull off a 1st or 2nd place, that we can push forward to finish overall 2nd. I think that would be a great achievement.
Chris Froggatt and Eddie Cheever have enjoyed a fabulous season at the head of the Pro-Am class in their Sky Tempesta Racing Ferrari to arrive here with a 31-point lead. Now they have to convert that advantage.
It's a very competitive field, and even our sister car, I think, is just behind us in the championship, and I know they're two very, very talented drivers. So it's not being complacent, but so far very lucky with how the season's gone, and no mistakes. Very pleased. At the minute, there seems to be a lot of tyre degradation. First lap on a new set of tyres seemed good, and then after that it's a big drop off, so I think it's very important that you nail that first lap in quali. Otherwise, yeah, the car is always not bad on its tyres. I think for the race we should be okay. It seems to be quite gentle on the tyres over the race, but it's going to be, I think, peak performance is going to be tough to extract to.
So, getting ready for the start of the first of not 2 but 3 races this weekend here. The final round of the GT World Challenge Europe, the Sprint Cup. The field is coming down into the chicane. The safety car will pull out of the way. 2 by 2 they come, 21 cars. So let's reiterate, Ricardo Feller on pole position for the Emil Frey Lamborghini team. Then alongside Lucas Stoltz, HRT Mercedes, he's second in the championship. Giacomo Alto, third in the second of the Lamborghinis. And Jim Pla also, like the pole starting car, running in the Silver Cup class. He will start from 4th. And championship leader Charles Weerts down in 8th with 5 Audis tucked in behind. It could be very, very busy, John, down to the first corner. So full field on the start-finish straight. And now we accelerate the second of the Lamborghinis right under the tail, towing themselves from first and third to first and second. So that's a really good move by Emil Frey Racing. It should be Ricardo Feller leading down into the opening corner. Where are the Audis in behind? Charles Weerts right in the middle of the pack. That could be a bit risky. Outside of him, he's got Yusuf Oaxaca.
Contact. One of the Audis, one of the Lamborghinis got punted off. So it's come back on track. I think it's come back in the lead, in fact.
Well, I think actually we saw the green Bentley, Nelson Panciatici, being pushed wide. That's the nose of Timo Bogoslawski. But out front, it's still the 2 Lamborghinis, first and second. And Jim Pla doesn't fancy hanging around. He's going for Silver Cup glory, and he's going up into second place in the ACA ASP 89 Mercedes. What a move from the Frenchman.
Yes, and even worse is the number 4 Mercedes has been bumped down from second on the grid down to 4th. And that is a situation which was not to the advantage. The 32 Audi is making progress, so they are going to be very close on track.
Well, the important thing for Charles Weerts, he started 6 places down on his championship rival, Lucas Stoltz. Now Stoltz is only just in front of the nose of Weerts. Weerts has done well, gained 3 places.
Absolutely. That's what he had to do, and do it without having any contact. He's succeeded, so he's now onto the rear wing of the Mercedes. Now, what he can do beyond that as the cars continue midway through this opening lap. So it's Lamborghini, Mercedes, Audi, and then the Bogoslawski in the 88 Mercedes in 6th place.
Just riding on board the 93 Sky Tempesta Racing Ferrari, Chris Froggatt running in the lead of the Pro-Am class. He's 14th. The next car in class is 4 positions further back. It's the second of the Ferraris. The AF course is Louis Michel. So it's going very, very well for the British racer. Not so well for the Belgian at the moment. And then for Valentin Peerberg and Lee Mole, they're bringing up the rear, 20th and 21st. Their last 2 cars in the field.
Oh, Chris Froggatt, what was that all about? The back end just snapped under braking. I think he might have snapped. We saw it from on board. All of a sudden, he's got handfuls of steering lock. This is going to be a full course yellow initially, and might be a safety car intervention.
Now,
watch again.
was he given
on
the
the brakes?
mode?
No, that's a rear brake snatching and turning at the same time. Nothing he could do. Once the car had broken, all the grip had gone. He was just a passenger. As nature took over, the forces took over, and into the gravel trap he went.
Now the field slowing right down, obviously.
Full course yellow.
Full course yellow. So let's reiterate the order. Ricardo Feller, Jim Pla, 2 Silver Cup runners, Lamborghini ahead of Mercedes at the top of the field. Giacomo Alto in the second, the Lamborghinis in third, and Lucas Stoltz 4th. Timo Bogoslawski had moved back ahead of Charles Weerts. Charles Weerts started 8th, got up to 5th, back to 6th. But now again, Lucas Stoltz losing a little bit of ground to Giacomo Alto, riding with the 4th place car down the straight. John, you're spot on. Those Lamborghinis super sleek in a straight line.
Yeah, and again, Lucas Stoltz slightly, again you see, trying to come out from the slipstream under Jimmy Pla's Mercedes into turn 1. And again, I don't know why Lucas Stoltz not quite on the programme.
Safety car procedure of car 25 under investigation. Safety car procedure, car 25 under investigation.
Okay, now this is important because something may have happened, but what we saw just after the safety car proceeded, Arthur Rougier got ahead of Charles Weerts.
Yes.
Did he do it before the start-finish line? That is under investigation. Arthur Rougier was 7th, is now 6th.
Let's watch again.
Look at the back end of the shot. We've got an overtake from Rougier.
Is it ever?
There is a white line across the track, but it isn't the right one. That's not the start-finish line. That is cut and dry.
Correct.
Sean.
Absolutely bang to rights on that one. I think the Lamborghini 163 Giacomo Maltese will be the first of this lead group cars into the pit lane, because they were preparing the pit lane for a stop. Let's have a look and see, does it peel off or not? Yes, it does, and so does Lucas Stoltz.
Well,
so the two obvious ones. The next one's got to be, well, it's not as Timo Berger-Slavski's coming in, so Charles Weerts has stayed out.
Yeah, well, there we go. So 3rd, 4th and 5th reporting into the pit lane. In fact, both the Lamborghinis came in. So what we saw just sweeping out of the corner was the first one going in. So Jim Pla leads the race overall. We did see those 2 pit boards for Lamborghini, but that was just bringing them to the front of the garage. I can certainly think that 163 was going to come in. I was a bit surprised Fella didn't stay for another lap.
I would have kept Fella out personally, because I don't like the idea of double stacking. There's not a lot of room to work. As we said, finally, Dries van Thor is going to get into that number 32 as one Lamborghini slides down the pit, and that's the 163 Albert Costa, the very, very speedy Albert Costa. But which car is this coming down the pit lane first? Is that the 163 Lamborghini? Difficult to tell looking into the headlights. So there's Dries van Thor rolling directly behind the car that has been following for the entire race.
Yeah, but the good thing about that from the point of view of Dries van Thor is he's only one position now behind the car he needs to get ahead of. He's got clear line of sight. And in fact, Acker ASP have got Rafael Marciello in front after that pit stop of the Stoltz car. So they've lost ground, and Weerts hand over to Dries van Thor's done the right thing.
They picked up one position because we think that the 25 Audi is going to be under investigation anyway.
Drive-through penalty to car 25, overtaking 2 cars under safety car procedure.
Well, there's the penalty we sort of expected to come Arthur Rougier's way. He's been a great racer, but he was a little too racy just then.
Bruce, what I thought needed to happen was Marcello get ahead of Vites. Now that's allowed Maro Engel to close up to the back of the 89. He now needs to find a way past to gain that extra advantage of having one car between himself and the 32 Audi. Here we see the pass. In fact, it wasn't a pass. He just gave it up. Look at Dries van Thor diving one way, diving the other, coming into turn 5. I mean, harrying Maro Engel at every opportunity. Now, Maro Engel on the inside. Can he make it stick? The touch. Wow! That was close, and certainly Dries van Thor will think, now, here's my opportunity. And right behind the Mercedes, as I come on to start finish straight, I'm going to pick up bigger 2 than I've done at any point, and I'm going to think about making a move down the inside. It'll be defended by Maro Engel if he sees the Audi go out to the right. There's the move, the counter move from Engel, but Dries van Thor, well, he must have thought all his Sundays came in one corner as they went through 14 and 15.
Now, let's have a look at a let-through taking place, because suddenly Albert Costa in the lead of the race, just gone past. John, how did that happen?
I don't know. Maybe they're listening to our broadcast. Let the man from Barcelona win the race.
Now, leading the Pro-Am class, it's Andrea Bertolini, but Dominic Baumann now right onto his tail. The SPS Automotive Performance Mercedes has caught the AF Corsa Ferrari. Bertolini, so much experience racing Ferraris.
Bentley has stopped. Is it a spin or is it a mechanical issue? It looks like there may be something burning under the hood, because look at Jules Gougnot. He is absolutely trying to get the lid off to see what the problem is. Look at Maro Engel right on the tail of the number 89 Mercedes as they come through turn 12 into 13. Then the drop down into this very tight left-right chicane. So, it's very tight indeed. I think that we're going to see Maro Engel try and do something that's going to be very late in the day if he can. He's not close enough to take that position away from Benjamin Hites.
Lamborghini's first and second, Rafa Marciello third for Mercedes. Super close behind, but the checkered flag is out and the championship has been given a shaking, because the championship unfortunately for Dominic Baumann challenging. Don't forget, we saw him right on the tail of Bertolini. He has spun out.
And there's
Given a
contact.
helping hand. There has been contact. That means Phil Keane up into second place. But delighted Emil Fry Racing. They found out how to win at Zandvoort. They've done it all over again with the same car, 163.
Yeah.
Well, let's go down. Very, very happy winning combination. The 1-6 crew, Albert Costa and Giacomo Alto.
Giacomo, Albert, fantastic result. Albert, for you, this really means a lot to have a home win.
Yeah, to win at home is amazing. Unfortunately, there is no public, so I cannot celebrate with my family, friends, girlfriend. But yeah, win is a win. I think we are more or less in the fight for the championship. Still there, 2 races tomorrow. We need to keep focused. It's only a win, and tomorrow we can go for the championship. So keep on this way of work. Very lucky because in the last lap I had something broken in the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So very, very lucky because I get it back to the end. So now it's time for the Mr. Altoe.
Giacomo, really proud of Albert for finishing it, but you started off that race.
Yeah, the start was good. Then there was a bit of dangerous situation. I managed to don't make any mistake and to try to bring the car home on the pit stop well. And then Albert did a great job. So thank you for the team, to Albert and to everyone that helped us to do this result.
Well, here is the final position after the first of the 3 1-hour races here in Barcelona, and Giacomo Alto photos all round, but they've got to try and replicate that in both of tomorrow's races. It's a glorious day to go racing. We've got 2 of the 3 races here this weekend. Here is the evidence of Albert Costa and Giacomo Alto's rise up into 4th place overall. We have still 35 points to play for. So take 35 points off Dries Van Toor and Charles Wiets, our leaders, and you can see all the way down to Michael Grenier in 8th place. These people can all take a tilt at the title. So on pole position is Albert Costa alongside the white and blue Mercedes of Rafa Marciello, all Attempto Racing Audi, Vervish and Drudy on row 2. But row 3 and a jink immediately, it didn't work at all for Fred Vervish there, trying to get round the pole starter, but Albert Costa leads down to turn 1, almost clattered the back of him, John.
Yeah, that was a very anticipated start. Look at the Mercedes number 4 trying to barge his way between the Attempto contact, and Maro Engel has managed to get ahead of the 88 and ties up his contact, and one of the Audi screws, I couldn't see whose that one was.
I think it was Matteo Drudy. He was on the right hand side of the grid, but for Maro Engel, that's a marvellous start. Up into second, Rafa Marciello second, back to about 4th or 5th. The Lexus got pushed wide as well when the Attempto Audi went out, but Albert Costa took a win yesterday, leading today. We've got one of the Attempto cars is still in there, but up into 4th place. It's a good gain as well for Dries Van Toor. He did what he had to do.
But look, Audi on the outside of 88 going into turn 5, coming down the hill. So look, there is Ryan. Can he go round the outside of 32 Audi? Very, very unlikely. He's going to be, but he's had to fall back into line. But he's managed to get back in line just ahead of Kelvin van der Linde. So there is now Raffaele Marciello. I think he was wrong-footed with that almost full jump start by Fred Vervish, and that allowed the number 4 Mercedes to take that opportunity to get away, clear, particularly of the 32 Audi, the principal contender they have to deal with in the battle of the championship.
Well, we've got a Pro-Am driver running up in
Grenier,
7th place over Grenier, coming up from about 11th, and he hits the tail of the Pro-Am driver I was talking about, Eddie Cheever. That was not fair on Cheever at all.
And that'll be, I guarantee you, that'll be a penalty to the Lamborghini, the 14 Lamborghini. That was an avoidable incident.
Hold on, suddenly we've got Maro Engel slowing because Fred Vervish looks like he just swept around the outside as they came close to the camera there. Let's swing around and see what we can see. But yes, Vervish goes into 2nd place. Couldn't see where a mistake had come from coming out of turn 3, but Engel wasn't going very fast at all. Is there a problem with the car?
Drive-through penalty, car 14, causing a collision.
Well, there we are. We didn't expect that to be a surprise at all. It wasn't a surprise because Michael Grenier, he'll have to hold his hand up. He got it wrong. Unfortunately for Sky Tempesta Racing, theirs was the car he hit, but out of 7th place will come Grenier to serve that drive-through. Now let's take a look
as early
at
as
the
replay of what happened at the start.
Is car number 14 diving around the back of Oscar Tunyo. Get that move done, but unfortunately you have to do braking and steering for a corner. And for Eddie Cheever Jr., he must have been patting himself on the back. This is all going very well. I've gained 2 positions.
He had a super start, and again, totally the innocent victim.
Now, there is a thought that's, John, you're quite right. Remember at the start of the race, Maro Engel didn't quite get across turns 1 and 2 properly.
Correct. And he gained
a position by doing so. So that is why He backed off, let Fred Vervish come through. And that has been confirmed from a race control. It was a let through.
There we go. Maro Engels come in. Fred Vervish is also in. So at the earliest opportunity, second and third place cars into the pit lane. And for both cars, to me, a relatively early stop. But of course, they have got other things on their mind, particularly the number 4 Mercedes-Benz. It's going to be handed over to Lucas Stolz. And that was a handover. We had it now been confirmed by race director because of that incident in the opening lap in turns 1 and 2.
So Albert Costa leads the way. Dries van Tor up into second place, not by overtaking, but by dint of those who came in the pits. But John, the pit stops. Car number 4 coming back out. Car 66 out in front. Nicholas Scholl actually seems to have gained a tiny advantage.
That's what I was just about to say. It looked to me like Temto got maybe a couple of seconds gain over the number 4 HRT Mercedes. A good stop by Emile Frey. So Giacomo Altoe gets into the car and is on his way down the pit lane. But whereabouts will the 55 Audi be? 66, sorry, not
66 should be coming over the hill. Over the hill it is. So it looks almost exactly the gap as it was before. First, second and third in that order. I'll tell you what, the 66 car has actually gained.
Absolutely.
That has been very, very positive for Nicholas Scholl, the young Austrian, right on the tail. Of course, this is the moment the drivers come out. He's just trying to get themselves settled in. And for Giacomo Altoe, he has got to be right on it from the very outset. In the background, the stop shot, you said Lucas Stolz getting faster and faster.
Oh,
that's Lee Mole, unfortunately, just into the car. The late pit stop from Phil Keane, and turn 5, such a tricky corner. Yesterday, when it was greasy and damp, it was horrible. But it's not turn 5.
Oh, it isn't. It's turn 4. Indeed. Wait.
So he came out on the tail of that battle on cold tyres, maybe just joined in a little too soon.
He was overtaken by Riccardo Pella on the exit of turn 3 and maybe just got caught out. There you see the back of the car about to swing. Where is it?
He's coming on his own.
It is now.
Full course yellow in 20 seconds. Full course yellow, 20 seconds. Green, green, green.
Signalling to the pits, tenths of a second, really count. Good restart from Giacomo Altoe. Albert Costa will be watching on the screen in the garage. He knows, look at the clock, 15 minutes remaining in this race. The lead over the start finish line, half a second. That's important. Nicholas Scholl wants to attack, wasn't close enough. Nobody yet making moves in behind, but Chris Froggatt.
Penalty to car 18, speeding
car
in the
18
pit lane.
Lee Mole, unfortunately, or Phil Keane, one or other. That's the car down at the tail of the field, haven't been dropped in the gravel. So in fact, a drive-through penalty, it'll cost them position but not points.
Chris Froggatt all over the back of Louis McKeel's, up through turn 7, then across in the inside through 8. Short shift up the hill into turn 9, off the gas. Watch. This car was pretty quick actually in the hands of Eddie Cheever. He's closed. He's now going to have a run down the hill into turn 10. Which side's he going to go? McKeel's hogging the middle of the road.
Michelle's really twitchy on the exit of Campson.
Overruns marginally and get alongside, side by side into turn 11. Who's going to come out in front? It's the Sky Tempesta.
Yeah, the move was already done, just a little too deep into the corner there from Louis Michels, but he made the mistake at the top of the hill, and it looked as though he'd done enough to block it, but Froggatt wasn't taking no for an answer there. This recovery drive from Chris Froggatt is bearing fruit. They're second in Pro-Am on the track, but gathering the points that will give them what they need. And we've been talking about the Pro-Am honours, but in the Silver Cup 26, Stephen Paulette, Simon Gachet, they started the race with an advantage of 25 points, and that will put it in the bag for them. They just needed to secure it. He's ahead of Axel Jeffries on the circuit. That is all he needed to do to take it. It's been a season that includes an overall win for this duo. Giacomo Altoe has got this one in the bag. For Emil Frey Racing, for Altoe and Costa, that is rather good winning sequence. 3 in a row. Just got to go around the final corner for the last time. He's in behind the ERC Sport. Mercedes will sweep past it. Doesn't need to sweep past it, but does anyhow. So Emil Frey Racing right into the championship mix for the final race of the season. And in behind Chris Froggatt, he's got past the Mercedes. He's got past. He'll win the Pro-Am class with a Pro-Am victory, which is exactly what he wants. And very tight at the finish. Tomita trying to go past Bogoslawski to take 5th place, but at the end, victory for the Emil Frey Racing Lamborghini. But look at the order at the end of the race. It was another Lamborghini win. Giacomo Altoe bringing it home. Albert Costa sharing that. 2.8 seconds. course, it closed up with that late safety car period. But Fred Vervies, brilliant at the start. Nicolas Scholl, rock solid to the end of the race to take second place. Maro Engel and Lucas Stoltz, they put the points in the bag, rue the fact they lost the second place. Dries Van Toor and Charles Weerts, they did what they had to do. They started 7th, they came 4th, so really good run for them. Let's go on to our winners, Albert Costa and Giacomo Altuve.
Albert, Giacomo, fantastic. 2 races, 2 wins, and that really puts the fight on for the final race this afternoon.
Yeah, this has been amazing. It's a dream, no? First of all, I want to say this race it's for Laura. Laura was a co-driver from a rally that she lost her life yesterday in a very bad accident. She was only 21, so all Motorsport family is with her. I race for her family, friends, and this is for all of them. So it's for her, and yeah, we're in the race. I'm really happy, unfortunately with the situation we have, but now still want to race, and we need to go for it.
Absolutely, and only 3.5 points in it for the championship, Giacomo.
Yeah, exactly.
3 or 4?
3.5 apparently.
Okay.
That's amazing. I didn't know it. Yeah, of course we need to stay focused for the next race and keep working because the job is still not done. But I'm really happy for us and for the team, so let's keep pushing.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Well, very nice tribute to rally co-driver Lara, who was killed yesterday, unfortunately. But what a run for the Emil Frey Racing team. Absolutely brilliant. First from the start of the race and made it pay. Pole position always pays here, but there seems to be performance in hand for the dynamic duo of Albert Costa and Giacomo Altuve. And in the Sky Tempesta Racing world, it smiles all round. 30 points the good. There aren't 30 points up to play. So for Eddie Cheever and Chris Froggatt, they are the Pro-Am winners today and the Pro-Am champions for 2020 in the Sprint Cup. Let's hear from them.
Eddie, Chris, champions, that is it. You did everything you needed to do despite a very difficult start.
Yeah, it was crazy start. I had a super start and somebody hit me from behind and we came from last. Got to the pack and Chris did the rest. He did amazing and overtook the P1 car on the last, I think, 3 corners, just perfect. And it's much better to win a championship winning the race also. So I'm really happy and I'm proud of him. He just started racing 4 years ago and the way he's driving is unbelievable.
Absolutely. We get to see that smile perhaps now, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ecstatic. I mean, stressful at the beginning. I saw Eddie get hit and, you know, after yesterday I was sort of a little bit, not again, but we pushed through. We were lucky with the safety car, being able to get bunched up with everyone, and just tried my best, and thankfully everything came through.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
But for Giacomo Altuve and Albert Costa, they know their way to the winning podium, the winning step on the podium, pick up the golden trophies for what is looking a very good end to their season. And we are all ready for the final race of the 2020 GT World Challenge Europe Sprint Cup, and we've just received some news coming up from Race Control that the race order for race 2, the one we enjoyed this morning, has been amended because there have been 2 cars at the top end of the field that have been struck. So Nicolas Scholl and Fred Vervies promoted into that first position. Giacomo Altuve and teammate Albert Costa ending up way down the orders. And Charles, it was a pit stop infringement, both for them and the number 4 Mercedes crew from HRT. So Charles Weerts finished with Dries Van Toor in 4th place. They now go up to 2nd, and that really has given the championship table a massive shake-up. It got really compressed. We were all set for an amazing finale, but with 2 of the top point scorers being shoved down to 16th and 17th overall, it was a pit stop infringement with the drivers leaving the pits with not all as it should have been. So here is the pit stop that looked as though it was the winning pit stop. Albert Costa out, the taller figure of Giacomo Altuve get in. They went on to win the race, controlled it, ran it beautifully. But for Lucas Stoltz and Maro Engel, they came home in 3rd place. They also committed an infringement in the pits, John. Well, I spent the lunch break working out the points. Those have all had to be changed. And now what I can tell you, there are only 2 contenders, Dries van Toor and Charles Weerts, instead of having cars just 3 points and 3.5, 4 points behind them, they've just got Timo Bogoslawski, the only outside contender now. He needs to get on the podium, even if Dries van Toor and Charles Weerts fail to score, and then he can take the championship. His teammate Raffaele Marciello is down in 4th place because he didn't do all of the rounds, but suddenly for Dries van Toor it was looking like a really big mountain to climb, and suddenly the whole landscape has changed for them. And up front though, it's Raffaele Marciello on the inside of the front row. The outside of the front row is Kelvin van der Linde, the black and white Audi in 3rd place on the grid. 4th place, the championship leader, Dries van Toor. Albert Costa, the deflated Albert Costa, on the outside of the 2nd row. The 3rd row is Ezekiel Perez Compact, the leading Silver Cup driver, with Michael Grenier, the 2nd of the Lamborghinis, also in the Silver Cup. But what is Marciello going to do from pole position? The 20-car field comes around the final corner, track conditions, and it looked as well, HRT, what was going on further back down the order? We've got the Lexus on the grass, and unfortunately the Ferrari against the wall on the outside. Thank goodness they've already wrapped up the championships. That was a mess of a start for Eddie Cheever. Raffaele Marciello's fine at the front. It looks though Kelvin van der Linde is going to have a look around the outside. That's not going to work. So for Timo Bogoslawski, he'll be delighted his teammate has got through. Corner cutting from van der Linde. That may yet elicit a penalty. Didn't gain a position, which is possibly a mitigating circumstance, but looking back from the rear view of Raffaele Marciello, he's very, very close indeed. They're already starting to make a little bit of a gap over Dries van Toor, but safety car is coming out. Well, there's no surprise there. Let's have another look at the replay. Okay. We saw an early move, or so it seemed, of Mauro Engel trying to get in the middle of the track.
I think it was the what do you call it? I think it was the TalkSport Mercedes may well have hit Engel. That is what then I think triggered it off. Watch it again. Watch the turquoise and grey. So there's Engel moving. Then the Mercedes moves alongside, comes across the front of Engel, who then swings off. So a lot of action going on in that midfield pack.
Yeah,
so
all blame removed from Engel. He had already made a move because he got very, very close to the car in front of him on the grid. And then as he readjusted, Tundio in behind thought, I'll have a bit of that. Got on the grass, tried to snap it onto the track, and unfortunately all went very pear-shaped after that. So this is looking forward from Albert Costa's point of view. He started 4th. You can see poleman Raffaele Marciello taking the lead, assuming that position ahead of van der Linde. Down to turn 1 they go, sun glinting off the bodywork, but by dint of having that inside line and his nose, there was a push from Costa onto van der Linde.
That wasn't a push, that was a shove.
Okay, a shove, John.
Green flag, green.
As the flag is green in colour, full speed racing again. He's got protection from behind. He's got the shotgun. He has got Kelvin van der Linde sitting on his tail.
Yes, and undoubtedly that was an orchestrated situation, because it is in the interest of WRT and Audi to give Dries van Toor and Charles Weerts every opportunity possible to take this championship. They're running behind the one car right now that could deny them that opportunity, so they need to max out as soon as possible.
And there we have the first of the pit stoppers. Attempto Racing, Matthias Drudy handing over to Tommaso Mosca.
Attempto cars. Slow to get it rolling, can't get the thing started.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Bit of a hesitation whether it's going to have any bearing on the outcome. Sure. Albert Costa is in the pit lane.
Well, frustrated by being tucked in behind Kelvin van der Linde. He's blinked first. Maybe they think they can hand it to Giacomo Alto, who'll be thinking very carefully about how he places his belts over the frontal head restraint before he rejoins the race.
I mean, that will be something mandatory, but also they're coming in at the point where the pit lane is relatively virtually only 1 or 2 other cars. There is the Lamborghini in, so they're going to get in, do the change, make sure everything is correct, get out, and it's the undercut that they're going to try. If they can get back out with a relatively clear racetrack, not having to be compromised by other cars around. Not again a Broadway. I thought he'd stalled it. He's got it just to clip the clutch. Now another car came through. That's the Bentley. So, oh dear.
Again, as frequently as the case, Team WRT down towards pit exit. In fact, the final garage. 163 have made their pit stop. Giacomo Alto at the wheel. Now he will be determined to come out ahead, at least of the 31 Audi, but his real target is to get ahead of the 32 Audi, but I think that's got an advantage, just too big.
WRT here at the very bottom of the pit lane, so once the 4 wheels and tyres have been changed, drop the car and send it. So where is the Lamborghini? It's just coming out of turn 16 now, so the Lamborghini is, well, it's a long pit lane here in Barcelona. The Audi has managed to retain that position and almost extend the gap momentarily as he comes down. The difference is Altoe is on warm race tyres.
And time after time, John, you think, the car's done just enough, it's come out. But the first few corners, when you're not yet up to race pace, the tyres aren't quite ready. This is the moment that Altoe has to attack.
So this is the pit stop that will determine, if it doesn't really need much determination, that the two drivers, Dries van Thor and Charles Weerts, will walk out of here this evening. GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Sprint Champions.
And so they most likely will, but it's not done yet. We're just under half an hour of racing remaining. All the 88 ACA ASP Mercedes crew could do is press on, which is what Raffaele Marciello is doing. Effectively, they need to be on the podium with this car, the 32 car, not picking up a single point, therefore finishing outside the top 10. But the fact they've been running second in the first half of the race, it looks like a tidy pit stop coming up. They've almost got the job done, but not yet.
What they need, or hope for, is that the service is complete before the Audi, the 31, comes through. And so it's going to be, remember, WRT are at the very bottom of the pit lane. They come out ahead. So big sighs of relief from WRT. They've done the business. They've done it on the racetrack. They've done it in the pit lane. And now they've got, 26 minutes of this race remaining. And it's consolidation to the end.
So Marcello's race is run. The car, will it go on in the hands of Timo Bogoslawski to at least taste victory? But he is the only one who can take the championship from Charles Weerts, who's just started his final stint of the 2020 Sprint Cup. Tall Italian gets out, slightly shorter Russian gets on board. This is the end of his fourth season in racing. Could become the Sprint Cup champion, but really the points are in favour of the 32 crew of Weerts and Van Thor.
And the pit stop, it's a case of more haste, less speed. So Bogoslawski's got the 88 Mercedes rolling. He's at the entrance to the pit lane. He's got that long drag all the way down. Actually, I think he's going to come out. He is coming out ahead, comfortably ahead.
But look, the fact, only just seeing the second place car of Charles Weerts coming over the crest of the hill, down the start-finish straight. But the comfortable thing for him is the fact he's got that two-second advantage over a teammate. And there's also the question mark hanging over the 163 Lamborghini that's running in fourth place because of that contact with the 31. Now, as we stand, predicted points, it's looking very strong indeed for Weerts and Van Thor. 89 points. Timo Bogoslawski, well, he'll have come up short, but still an amazing accolade for a driver young in his career. If he finishes in the victorious position in this race, he will end up second overall. And his teammate, and the penalties in race 2 really just haven't affected it, has been the fact that, look, he's running ahead of the Lamborghinis. That's why they've moved up on the points.
Ricardo Fella has just overtaken Giacomo Altoe into turn 5. I don't know if that was something that was orchestrated or not, but Altoe had the pace to catch up. Maybe they think that Ricardo Fella has got more pace right now to try and get ahead of the third place Audi. I suspect that might be some of the thinking that's going on. They want to take that third place away.
Right, let's have a look at the classes. Top in the Silver Cup class, we've been seeing a lot of him. He's Ricardo Fella in fourth place overall. Next in class, Stephen Paulette down in 8th, Thomas Neubauer in 9th. Top in Pro-Am, it is that man there, Valentin Pierberg, the SPS Automotive Mercedes. He's got a lead of, wait for it, quite a large lead over Louis Michiels. Louis in the AF Corsa Ferrari yet to cross the start-finish line, just under 8 seconds. So Valentin determined to take a win in the championship.
Well, watch again, Fella, very, very aggressive defence from the Audi. I mean, this could end in tears. It's going to be very tight on the run up the hill. Wow, what a brave maneuver around the outside on the exit of turn. I've never seen any driver do that before. Congratulations, Ricardo Fella. I think you've made history. Outstanding. Now look, second Audi and Lamborghini trying to do the same thing, this time around the outside of turn 10. Less chance of making this one stick.
Well, that was astonishing. Turn 8. I was about to say to you, John, have you ever seen a move there before? And you just jumped straight in, because it is so rare. Just too deep, propelled too deep into the corner for Tomita. And now, having got into that third place, off into the distance is going Ricardo Fella. He is certainly putting his name on the board this weekend. Let's take another look at the move. Down through 6, it's still the Audi in third place. Tomita, though, goes a little bit deep, John, into turn 7. But this move, the traction that Ricardo Fella found.
He had drive out of turn 8, but it's a very, very convincing victory. Outstanding qualifying by Raffaele Marciello by a significant margin, who dominated the opening phases and then handed over to Bogoslawski, who's done an equally dominant job. Okay, he's allowed with Audi to get closer. It doesn't matter, as I say, as who takes the flag first is the winner.
Well, we know the flag is being waved this time around, and it goes to the 88 Mercedes from ASP. But excitement down at Team WRT, because second place, there's Dries van Toor leading over the pit wall. He now has a title to his name, on a title that is from a championship that really is part of the family history and for Team WRT. And they really did it themselves. They could have done it even without the penalties, John, for the other crews, for the number 4 crew and the 163 Lamborghini crew. So a lot of pride restored there. For ACA ASP, they have ended the Sprint Cup in style. But for Team WRT, they'll be buying the drinks tonight. Shall we hear from this year's champions? Let's go down to Dries van Toor, who started it, and Charles Weerts, who finished it.
Dries, Charles, a fantastic result. The emotion is absolutely clear. Congratulations to you both. Dries, we'll come to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say. Yeah, very happy. I mean, Charles did an amazing second stint. The Lambo was flying again. But yeah, luckily we had our sister car could manage to keep him behind for just that long enough to make sure our gap was big enough. So yeah, extremely happy. It was not our easiest weekend. We had so much stress going in. You know, as the leader of the championship, it's not always easy because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to be the first one that makes an error. But yeah, I think we just did it really good, and very, very happy. Thanks to Audi as well for providing us the whole season with a car to be able to fight for victory.
Thank you, Dries, and Charles, fantastic. The emotion is clear.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I mean, I don't have words. I'm just over the moon right now. But yeah, as Dries said, the car was great. The team did an amazing job during the whole season. Thanks to Audi, thanks to every single guy in our team that helped us. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy about this.
Congratulations. Very well done, boys. Well done.
Thank you.
So let's go down and hear from our race winners, Raffaele Marcello and Timo Boguslavski.
Raffaele, Timo, congratulations. A race win, and Timo still leading the overall championship.
Yeah, feels a bit bad because we have the good chance for the win the sprint, but anyway, I didn't expect this result really before the season. I was thinking about the podium maybe in the sprints or endurance, and take the experience of Raffaele from the team also. But now I finished the championship in P2, and Raffaele I think in the P3 in the sprint, and it's really good result. Yeah, but we still have another 2 championship. Is the overall. Yeah, I'm leading and in the endurance. So, but next we have the Spa, the biggest race, and we will see. Maybe we will win the Spa. So we don't.
Exactly.
Anybody don't know.
It's going to creep up on us quickly. Raffaele, you've been absolutely on pace this weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Car was good, so it was quite easy. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the eventual order in the race. 2.1 seconds to good, but it was victory that counted for Timo Boguslavski and Raffaele Marcello. But alas, that great result for them wasn't quite enough, because Charles Weerts and Dries van Toor, they came here in the championship lead. The whole thing scrambled around, and that second place was enough for them to take the Sprint Cup title. For Ricardo Feller, well, we already know his name, but we know it a whole lot better now. Astonishing drive through to third place. Bittersweet moment. Pro-Am champions in the Sprint Cup for 2020. They didn't get to finish the race. They hardly got to start the race. But for Eddie Cheever, for Chris Froggatt, and for Sky Tempesta Racing, crew member there as well, very pleased indeed, and a job well done. Let's have a look at the Pro-Am honour list. There we are, 131 points, and they stayed there despite not getting a proper race start. Louis Michiels, Andrea Bertolini did all they possibly could, ended up in second, and Valentin Pierberg, a puncture at the end, lost in points, lost in position. But really, it was all about Eddie Cheever and Chris Froggatt in the Pro-Am Championship within the Sprint Cup, and they were absolutely fabulous through the course of 2020. And now the Silver Cup winners for the season, for the Sprint Cup for 2020. It's Stephen Paulette and Simon Gachet. Stephen on the left, Simon on the right. And for Santonot Racing, the Audi crew, they had this one in the bag as well before this race, but at least they got to run through to the finish in the final race, John. So these battles within the overall battle, really part of the mix as well. There, Simon Gachet and Stephen Paulette, 108.5 points. A big win in the end over the Mad Panda crew of Axel Jeffries and Ezekiel Perez Compact. So it's been phenomenal. But let's have our overall champions. We've already heard from them. but the noise is getting bigger and bigger. Belgian Audi Club, Team WRT, and the champions, the Sprint Cup champions for 2020, Charles Weerts and his fellow Belgian, Dries van Tor, up on the steps there, smiling. They are smiling, trust me, behind those masks. So it's been an amazing Sprint Cup season. We know our champions in all three classes, but it's the overall champions from Team WRT. Remember their names, Dries van Tor and Charles Weerts.